do is say no. I say no, and no is that. All right? And be confident in your no, and stand on your no. All right? And welcome back to today's video, you guys. I am happy to have you guys back. So as you guys can see, today we're going to be discussing on how to set boundaries one-on-one. So we're in class, all right? I want y'all to think like this is class. I'm your teacher. You can call me Miss Sasha. Okay. So let's hop into how to set boundaries. So let's briefly talk about what boundaries are, okay? Boundaries is basically the limit you set for something, right? It's literally you drawing a line saying, okay, this is the line and I'm not crossing that line, okay? So that's what a boundary is. And you can create boundaries within yourself, within your friendships, your relationships, within your marriage, wherever you feel the need that you need to cross that line, all right? So let's jump into that one on how to create a boundary. It's to say no, all right? Now, for some people, this may be hard. It may be hard for some people to say no because, they may be a people pleaser to where, it's hard to tell another person no because the other person is not expecting for you to say no. They want you to give them what they want. However, when it comes down to boundaries, it's all about the limit that you set for yourself, okay? So if a person walks up to you and asks you to do something you know you don't like doing or you don't want to do, say no, all right? Just say no. Now, I do want to add this in, especially for my ladies, because there may be some situations that you may have encountered, or situations that you may heard of about someone saying no and the other person had a really, really bad reaction to you setting a boundary, okay? So when it comes down to you setting boundaries when you are uncomfortable, I want you to think logically on how you can get out of the situation, okay? And ladies, y'all know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And it's unfortunate that we have to have this conversation. I'm glad that we have this conversation, but it's unfortunate that we live in a world where there's so many entitled people and they feel as if you should give them what it is that they want and need, and as if you don't have boundaries that they need to follow, right? So if you ever find yourself in a very uncomfortable situation, I want you to think logically on how you can get out of that situation, okay? If you feel as if that person, really ain't right up here, I want you to come up with some other creative way to get you out of that situation, okay? You're gonna be able to test and tell when you can set a firm boundary, and you're gonna be able to know when the other person is kind of, and it's sad. It's sad, y'all. It is very, very, very sad. But I'm glad that we can have this conversation and I can guide you into the right direction on how to get out of that uncomfortable situation, okay, y'all? But I want you guys to flat out tell the person no. Rather than you have work 8 o'clock in the morning and your friend wants to go out and get drinks, you can just tell your friend no. Now, if you want to explain yourself and say, no, I'm not available, I have work in the morning at 8 o'clock, then do that. But if you just want to say no, say no. If you're in a relationship and your partner wants you to meet their parents and you're really not up for it, say, no, I'm just not at the moment. Now, if you're in a relationship or if you're in a marriage and your partner wants you to do something and you're not comfortable with doing it, just say no. And I feel like when it comes down to like intimate relationships, you may have to explain why you say no, right? Because that may be your friend or that may be your partner. However, when it comes down to strangers on the street, baby, all you got to do is say no. I say no, and no is that, all right? And be confident in your no and stand on your no, all right? Step that I encourage you guys to do is to give yourself 24 to 48 hours to make or accept any decisions. Now, this boundary is something that I recently started to consider. I noticed I was making a lot of impulsive decisions. I was making decisions based off of how I felt at the moment. And those decisions led me to feel uncomfortable, or those decisions really affected my life to where I wasn't happy and I wasn't satisfied, right? So I started to sit back and to self-reflect, and I paid attention to the decisions that I was not supposed to make, and I gave myself this boundary that I'm gonna give myself time to make a decision. Now you guys, y'all can make your own time limit, your own time limit, your own time period, whatever it is that you want to do for you, whatever it is that works for you, okay? But for me, I'm gonna give myself a day or two to make any major decision, all right? What I may count as major, you may count as small, I don't know. What's major to you is major, all right? So give yourself time to make that decision. There's a lot of people in life that wish they had a time machine where they could go back to that exact moment and change the decision they made, because now they're suffering the consequences from the decision that they made. And I'm sure they'll say if I would have thought about it, or if I would have just slowed down, or if I would have just told the person no, or if I would have just walked away, I wouldn't be in a predicament that I'm in right now, okay? So I want you guys to really consider giving yourself time to make any decision to avoid you from not being satisfied or not having control in your life. This will allow you to have control. This will teach you control, all right? So consider that. Lastly, I want you guys to communicate your needs, wants, and concerns, okay? I want you to verbally communicate your needs, wants, and concerns, okay? And I feel like when it came down to me setting boundaries, I had an issue with communicating, because growing up as a child, you really couldn't say what it is that hurt your feelings, or you really couldn't say how you felt. It was always considered as you talking back. How am I talking back when I'm trying to explain to you and communicate to you how I feel? I'm trying to explain to you that what you're doing to me is hurting me. But that's just the type of people that you can't help the people that the family you was brought into. You just can't help it. You can't help it. If they ignorant, and let them be ignorant. You don't be ignorant, okay? So I want you to be able to communicate your needs, wants, and concerns. So say for instance, if you and your best friend had a heated argument, right? And you guys, and now like you want to communicate your needs and wants to your friends, right? I would suggest that you give yourself time to calm down and to really reflect on the situation before you reach out to your friend to tell your friend, look, this is how I feel, X, Y, and Z, right? Because when you're heated in a moment, like you're not you. You know how they say, like, you're not you when you're hungry? It's true, you're not you when you're heated. So I would say give yourself time, whether if that's a few hours, if that's a day or two, give yourself that time to really process and register what happened in a moment. Then I want you to reach out to your friend, right? If that's a phone call, if that's a text message, email, however y'all do it. Reach out to that friend and you communicate to your friend. I mean, I think it's appropriate that you should apologize for whatever it was that you need to apologize for. However, I want you to be vulnerable with yourself and with your friend, and open up to your friend and say, hey, when you did X, Y, and Z, it triggered something deep down inside me, which caused me to do A, B, C. Okay? Because this is your friend. So you should be comfortable enough with talking about things like this with your friend. But in order for your friend to know how to treat you, you have to communicate what it is that you need and what you want. The only way a person could treat you appropriately or could respect you appropriately is if you tell them, hey, look, this is what I need. Now, everyone should be respectful to everybody. That's just me. I feel like if I create my own world, I would have a law where everyone is respectful to everyone. However, you're going to come across people that's not respectful. Rather, if they're disrespectful and they're unaware of it, or if they're disrespectful and they're very much so aware of it, right? But you have to come out and you have to tell people, hey, look, I didn't appreciate it when you called me this. Or I didn't appreciate it when you said this. Or I didn't like it when you say this, because this is what this does, right? You have to teach people how to treat you, okay? And that was one of my issues, is that I knew how I wanted to be treated, but I never communicated that to other people, which led me to running into people that treated me any kind of way. It's because I never set that boundary. I never set that standard or that expectation in the beginning to let them know, hey, look, this is what I'm willing to accept and this is what I'm not going to accept, okay? And another tip before we end today's video, I suggest that you communicate your boundaries when you feel the need to communicate your boundaries, okay? I don't care if you have been in a relationship or in a marriage for X amount of years, 10 years, 40 years, 50 years. I do not care. If you feel as if there's a boundary that needs to be set and needs to be put in place, you should sit down with your partner and you should communicate that boundary to them, okay? Because now you are becoming aware of yourself. You're becoming aware of yourself. You're becoming aware of your feelings. And now you know how you want to be treated. And your partner may not be treating you the way that you want to be treated. And I think it is 100% fair that you communicate to your partner and you let your partner know, hey, look, before in the past, you treated me this way and I didn't appreciate it. But now I'm on my self-loving journey. I'm on my self-healing journey, my self-discovery journey. And I would really appreciate if you don't treat me like this. Instead of you doing this, do A, do B, do C. Give them options on how they can show up for you, on how they can love you, okay? But you have to start off by setting these boundaries and communicating, because a person will never know. But, people, we read minds. I'm a good mind reader, excellent mind reader. However, you have to verbally say it. You have to say it and let people know exactly what it is and how you feel. Here's a book about boundaries and when to say yes, how to say no, and how to take control of your life. I recommend you guys read this book. Now, if you guys have a public library card, like within your city or state, I'm gonna drop a link in the details section to an app that you can download so that you can listen to the audio book of this book for free. Now, I'm talking to my Louisiana babies, okay? I don't know how it is in the other different states, all right, y'all? Because I'm 100% sure I have people that's watching my videos from all over the world, okay? I'm gonna manifest it. But you can listen to the audiobook for free, okay? I've listened to it for free. I've started the book, however, I didn't finish it. But that's my business, okay? And I feel like I am doing really, really good with setting boundaries, okay? But I recommend you guys read this book if you want to learn like any more details on what boundaries are, how to set boundaries, and how you may want to gain more control within your life. Here's an option. Here's 3 options. I'm gonna leave some information in the details section so you guys can have the resources that you guys need to, you know, find the things that y'all need to help y'all on this journey. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and also share this video. Share this video with someone you think could use the knowledge and tips and tools that we talked about today. Share this video with someone who has great boundaries and ask them, hey, what do you think about these boundaries? All right? Thank you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna see you guys next week for the next video. See ya.